When Eric and Justin were first diagnosed, we knew that life as we had planned it was over. The new life after autism felt grim and sad, and the future looked bleaker still. Hi everyone, those are words from Maureen Morell and Ann Palmer, who wrote this book, Parenting Across the Autism Spectrum, Unexpected Lessons We Have Learned. So this book is about these two mothers, Ann and Maureen, that are sharing their journey looking back as now their children are in their 20s, and they're reflecting on their experience from the time their children were born and diagnosed with autism up until now, and now is as of 2006. That's when the book was written. So Ann's son Eric, he was very quiet, he was passive, he also was high functioning, and he was diagnosed in 1985. And Maureen's son Justin was the complete opposite. Had a lot of energy, a lot of mood swings, and a lot of challenging behaviors, and he was diagnosed in 1981. So these mothers actually met at a parent group and then in years to come decided to write a book together because their journeys were similar, even though their children were obviously different and behaved differently. They both really expressed, and that quote was from the beginning of the book, and the first half of the book, I would say, is all about their emotions and what they went through and their families went through as well. So Eric has two little siblings, a brother and a sister, and they all got along very well. They all played together. And Eric's grandparents were also involved in his life as well and wanted to learn about autism and kind of what Eric was going through. So that was nice that Anne had that support group around her from her family, because sometimes you need that and it's important. And Justin had two little brothers, Michael and Patrick, and he was not very close to them. They didn't really interact with him. They were often annoyed by him because he often kept them up at night, had his mood swings and behavior moments. So they were not that close to him. And also, Maureen did not feel comfortable including her extended family in Justin's process going through autism because they often said things like, "Poor Justin, oh, we feel so bad for you, Maureen." And she just felt like that wasn't the support she needed and wanted. And she also mentions how she has a hard time getting support from people because she was the older sibling and always someone that gave support and advice to everyone, so she had a hard time asking for help. And this just shows you, this entire book shows you exactly what it is like to live in the day, in the life of a family with a child having autism. It explains to you what the boys are going through, it explains to you what the moms are going through, the dads, the siblings, the extended family. And this book is definitely super important. I actually was very sad reading this book, and it made me cry at some points because this is their real life and there was no end. And that's why you go through a grieving process, because your life as you knew it is completely different. And it really made me realize that autism is a 24/7, 365-day-a-year type of deal. It does not go away. It doesn't just get miraculously all solved. That this is something you are working on from the time your child is diagnosed forever. You're always planning and making sure they're okay. And it is really sad to see that Maureen's son, Justin, ended up having to go live on a farm, which was the best situation for him. But that is insanely hard for a mom to just let her child go and only see him a couple times a month. But unfortunately, that was what was best for him. Whereas Eric, Ann's son, was able to go to college and live a different kind of life. But it is really sad, and it just shows how much of an effect it has on everyone. It causes anxiety, it causes grief, it causes financial stress, mental health too, because you are just in this whole grieving process of something you will never have. So what I want to leave off on is asking a question. What would you do if someone came to you and told you your life as you've planned it and your dreams and aspirations are now turned upside down and you cannot live the future that you thought you were going to live? What would you do?